Welcome to the future of working together. I'm Dawn Holly Johnson, and today what I want to do is begin to create the construct around what the future of working together can look like. You know, we're wasting vast amount of resources, be them human capital, financial capital, time, effort, across the planet, working much too hard, not working smartly, to deliver goods and services to the planet. Organizations run this planet, run our societies. And it's in those organizations that we have an opportunity to tap into the brilliance of mankind and to actually be able to deliver effectively and efficiently what we need to for our future. Currently, we're even unable to feed, clothe, provide fresh food and water for millions of people on this planet. And we have to question why. Why do 60% of startups fail in the first 4 years? Why is it that larger organizations, their cultures are almost unbearable? Why do our organizations eventually create work environments that do not promote humanity? And so I'm going to talk about the top 3 pillars today, which are focus, structure, and mindset. Now, what I'm going to be doing is beginning to change your belief system, because even I was bought into this belief system, born into it like everyone else, that this is how you do business. But I had the opportunity to work in every major industry, in every size organization, from startups all the way to the Fortune 100. And I can tell you, everyone's struggling with the same problems: customer acquisition, customer retention, employee engagement, employee retention, profitability, scalability, innovation, reliable cash flow. I could go on. They're all prevalent in every organization. It just depends what's top of mind right now, what the biggest problem is that gets focused on. But we're going to talk about focus. We're going to talk about what are you really focused on, and what's the reason you created the organization in the first place. Or, you're a leader. Oh, why? Why are you working for that organization? Or to employees, why does working for that organization matter to you? And then we're going to get into structure. Now, it is natural human tendency for us to become hierarchical. And hierarchies actually destroy human collaboration capabilities. And there's proven studies on this. So we'll get a little more in depth on that. And then, of course, there's mindset. The mindset currently today is, let's fix things quickly. Let's, whatever it takes, we're going to applaud those that fix things quickly, even though it's an unsustainable solution. No one's held accountable, and therefore the person that made the mess, the leader moves on, we reorganize, whatever we do, and we're not measuring our organization properly, and therefore we can't really account for all the changes going on in the organization, what's really working and what's not working for us. So let's get a little bit into this, okay? So the focus of your organization is, should first and foremost be on the purpose of it. Why does it exist? Now, there are some organizations, in my opinion, that shouldn't even exist on the planet, although they might have created some amazing infrastructure or capabilities that we should learn from. But their purpose is really solely about making money. It's not about serving mankind. And the reason that I can think of that is, for instance, organizations that create nothing but junk food, processed food that's really not good for human consumption, soda drinks, etc. Just as an example is, what's the real purpose of the organization? Is it to make, human beings healthier? But think of, for instance, a soda manufacturer. They've come up with amazing distribution systems. Even starving people around the planet can get a hold of a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi somewhere. And so we want to tap into what we've learned, but we need to start creating very purposeful organizations. What's the problems that we're solving to ensure that we have a viable future? We're dealing with many situations globally right now, and we need to be able to come together and use our resources very, very wisely. We're depleting the planet and its earthly resources. We are slowly degrading and disempowering the workforce, and we have an opportunity to change that. So do you have a compelling vision for your organization? And how well have you communicated that across your organization? Do you think if you asked everyone in your organization what the purpose of it is, that everyone would answer the same way? I think many people would be lost on the answer. Most organizations, that's the way it is. And so that means that everybody's got a different cadence, a different direction in mind, a different vision. And so it's analogous to putting everyone in a rowboat and everybody rowing in their own way and at their own pace, and some going backwards and some trying to row forwards. And you can imagine the chaos. And so you can see how we waste a lot of effort, a lot of resources duly, because we do not create a purpose, and we do not make sure that everyone we're hiring is aligned to that purpose, and that we're really up to something. Now, some organizations, and it's becoming more prevalent, leaders are taking this on, and those companies are thriving. Now, I will still say that likely their structure and mindset is still in question to some degree, but as far as focus goes, the purpose of the organization is clear. Everyone's rowing in the same direction. Amazing gains in collaboration, productivity, innovation are available to that. Not necessarily creates a scalable organization, a one that's easy to grow, but at least you are, tapping the brilliance of the workforce, beginning to empower folks. Okay, traditional organizations are not set up for this at all. It's about who you're reporting to. They're going to manage you down and control what you're doing. You have little say into what's being given to you as far as work goes. And you have, you're literally becoming a drone. And so we are not tapping the brilliance of the workforce and allowing that. And that comes through focus, through knowing your purpose and actually focusing on that. So a traditional focus that exists by leadership is to focus on financials. And those are typically the primary measurements in an organization, which are almost completely useless, in my opinion. They're latent measures. They tell you nothing about what's working well and not working well in the organization, and drive a lot of bad behavior, which we're going to get into in practices 1 through 4 in this video series. So consider that you need to get really clear on your organization's purpose and have everyone aligned to that. And if people can't align to that, then they need to move on, and you need to bring people that can align to that purpose. Now, let's talk a little bit about structure. In a traditional organization, we have several design flaws. We have adopted old industrial age thinking that we need to manage and control the workforce. Back in the industrial age, we had an uneducated workforce. And so, in fact, our educational systems are still quite outdated because they teach just enough to people to actually go work for someone else. They don't teach us real life, and they don't teach us how to be effective contributors in the world, in my opinion. But we have an educated workforce today, and we are in the digital age. And so why would we stick to these old rules, these all-known rules? Well, I'll tell you, it's human nature. We create hierarchies out of everything. We think that's the way to manage anything. And you look at anyone's organizational chart. I don't care if it's the government. I don't care if it's a healthcare system, a business. It'll all look the same. I have literally taken organizational charts and changed the names of a few of the higher level roles in the organization and gone from a manufacturing organization to a healthcare organization. So we're all doing it and creating hierarchies. We have to have managers. We have to have directors. We have to have VPs. We're not tapping the brilliance of the workforce. What we're doing is compartmentalizing people into departments where everybody has groupthink because they all do the same thing. We're all marketers, we're all assemblers, we're all healthcare, we're all nurses, we're all, we dump all these people together in compartments. And we expect innovation to happen. We expect magic to happen as each of these individual departments works on their own goals. And the goals typically set by leadership, again, usually focused on manipulating the balance sheet. And here we are, all working independently, and we're all rowing differently. So structure matters, and there's a much simpler way to structure your organization. Now, today's normal business mindset is to focus on the immediate, the current work and the daily problems at hand. And cultures have become reactive and very passive aggressive around this instead of collaborative. And continuous change is expected. That's the one constant in the world, is expect change. But we're not managing it in organizations. And typically there's a change management function in an organization that belongs to the human resource folks, and they're just supposed to communicate that change is coming. So essentially I'm going to tell you what your leadership team has decided you're going to do. Very rarely are the folks in the front lines, the ones directly serving customers, ever tapped and asked, what do you think we could do better? Okay. And most people do not know how to problem solve well or come up with robust solutions. And there are tools and methodologies out there to come up with winning ways to design products and services, but they're not tapped. There's also often many projects that are launched in an organization. Most organizations don't know how to manage their project portfolio, which is shocking to me as a best practice that's been around for decades, is project portfolio management. I've never stepped into an organization that was doing that. I've always had to bring it in to an organization to make sure that you're putting your resources on the right things. Projects cost time, they cost resources, effort. Why would you just fire up programs left, right, and center and expect the organization to work well? In fact, most people are overworked on too many projects, and this dissolves their ability to be good at any one particular effort. So we've got to get good at problem solving. I prefer problem prevention, which the structure of the organization and new mindset, knowing how to design systems and processes to actually work well and prevent problems that your customer will experience, that your employees will experience, and allow the organization to be efficient and effective, are typically left untapped. And you've got the opportunity to begin to use some best practices and manage projects and processes and measure things in your organization you've never thought of measuring before, real time, so that you've got a pulse always on where you're going and how well you are doing internally, as well as are you delivering value to the market? Because without delivering value to the marketplace, you have no organization. You're not going to have the revenues you need to survive. So we're going to begin to drill into these three pillars. And the first is going to be focus. And I'm going to talk about traditional practices that take the focus off of purpose and onto other things. So until then, love you to like and share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't to my channel. Thanks so much.